take my hand.
Please work, please work, please work, please work. Yes! It's working! I have 24 hours to commit a war crime against Stellar Blade. Not in-game, but to the game. And if I fail, I lose my dignity and something far more valuable. $20. This is a speedrun not to beat Stellar Blade, but to corrupt it with a mod so cursed, it may be whispered alongside Thomas the Tank Engine and the Todd Howard Feet Pack. If you've been anywhere near the modding scene since release day, June 11th, you've seen the content. And by content, I mean...
Oh my goodness!
Booty mods. Endless booty mods. A week before the game was even out. How is that even possible? So I'm going in the opposite direction. The forbidden direction. Last time I modded a game, I made this thing. That was my Vietnam. Now, here we are again, because I have the impulse control of a raccoon in a dumpster fire. The goal? Turn Eve into Yoda.
No!
To prove to myself that I can still make face mods, even if it kills me. If I fail, I must upgrade to the Stellar Blade Complete Edition. That's another $20 in the Stellar Blade's Thigh Physics department, which is $20 too many considering my current financial situation is one bad decision away from eating uncooked ramen. You'll want to stick around to see just how far down Yoda's rabbit hole goes. It gets biblical. Before I descend into modding madness, just know I taught myself the bare minimum. Half the time, I have no idea what I'm doing. So, let's lay out the roadmap. From this to this. A hero's journey, except the hero is me. And the journey ends with Yoda doing JoJo poses in a sex dungeon. 1. Find a guide and figure out what else I'll need. As far as I know, it's the same process for every game. Extract the model file, then give birth to a monstrosity in Blender. Which leads us to 2. The hardest part. Cramming it back into the game and hope it just works. If I cannot get the model back into the game, this whole video is basically trashed. 3. Yoda barely has hair. Eve has a lot, so one of them has to change. Spoiler alert, it's not Yoda, so we yank it out, giving her that golem effect. I've never removed hair in Blender before, but how hard can it be? 4. Mold Yoda's holy face and defile Stellar Blade with it. With the roadmap set, let's dive into the Gooniverse. Alright, timer starts when I click this. $80? Ugh. I am never gonna financially recover from this. While the game downloads, I speedrun the research. Good news, I found a guide. Bad news, it's longer than the Bible. Even worse news, I can't read. I blink. 40 minutes are gone. I have 6 tabs open and 2 of them are in Korean. Somehow, I ended up in a John Cook Discord. Who the hell is John Cook? Then, salvation. Thanks to the pictures in the guide, I was able to deduce one thing. Stellar Blade runs on Unreal Engine. Same as Hogwarts Legacy. That means I already know the Dark Ritual. I think, great! Unreal Engine, Blender, already installed from last time. I'm a genius. That was until I opened the guide. Turns out I need the newer versions and 38 mysterious plugins, each named like rejected transformers. Suddenly, I'm downloading 3 programs at once. Imagine a chicken laying 1 egg. Simple. Nature's design. Now imagine that same chicken trying to lay 3 eggs at once, but sideways. The chicken hole has been jammed. That's 2 hours gone. Just delete it. So I do what any desperate man would do while waiting for downloads. I study the screenshots in the guide. After installing everything needed, there's one last pre-check. I download a random Nexus face mod and toss it in the games folder. If it works instantly, I might never see what normal Eve looks like. God damn!
Taki?
What kind of name is Taki? Okay, the mod seems to be working, since she looks like she only eats frozen water. At this point, I think it's gonna be easy. It was, in fact, not going to be easy, because in my hubris, I have made a grave mistake that would later cost me hours and my will to live. Okay, let's do this one last time. Step 1, extraction. I open the head folder, and it turns out there's not 1 face file. There's 9. 1 for each circle of hell. All of them is Eve's face, but only one of them is the real one. And the guide? Useless. So I do what any honorable modder would do in this situation. Cheat. I crack open that mod I downloaded earlier and take a look at which file they edited, and then exported the same file from the game. Momentum restored, direction unknown. Step 2, Blender.
This is where the fun begins.
Where digital surgery meets war crime. The first rule of modding: symmetry, balance, beauty. Naturally, I turn that off immediately, because symmetry is for cowards, and I'm chasing the artistic vision of a possum on cocaine. Eve now resembles something Picasso might have painted while having a stroke using a rat. Step 3. Unreal Engine. Import the model file, mutter some cursed gibberish, slap the result into the game folder, and pray that it just works. I boot the game up and wait 3 minutes through the first unskippable cutscene. 3 minutes that I don't have. Then, nothing. No orc nose, no mouse ears, no toilet mouth. At this point, 2 possibilities emerge. A. I've done something catastrophically wrong during the packaging process. And B. I'm in fact catastrophically wrong as a human being. 3 hours of soul excavation later, I discover the truth. The problem was, in fact, my lack of brain cells. Earlier, when I tested that first mod, I put it in the wrong folder. Which means that for the past 6 hours, I've been confidently shoving my own creation into a digital void where the game would never, ever find it. And because I've never actually seen normal Eve before, I just assumed her slightly malnourished face was a result of the mod. Nope, that's just her face. Her default $80 face. Which, turns out, slightly resembles Skeletor.
What?
Alright, moment of truth. Let's boot it up and see how it looks in-game. It worked! Sorta. The model's there, but the texture's gone, like my will to live. It's 5 AM. I've aged 12 years and 7 hours. I just kept trying. Reading the guide, lurking in a modding Discord I found. Nothing worked. It's almost like the missing texture is a canon event. Wait, that means... Oh shit! Eve, run! He's gonna beat your ass! What the hell are you looking at me for? Run! Holy shit, is that a steel chair? I was ready to quit. Ready to refund. But then, at exactly 12:50 PM, either through sheer accident or divine pity, it finally worked. Textures cursed. Beautiful. The kind of face I'd wake up to and then lie about. Holy crap. I went into this thinking it'd be like a 12-hour job. In and out, cursed Eve, done. Now, I'm staring down the barrel of the complete edition. Which, by the way, is not complete in the same way a Happy Meal is not happy. What's even in this? Let me check. Half-rim glasses for Eve. That's $15 real for the privilege of making her look like a high school vice principal about to confiscate your vape. That's insane! Alright, brain damage resolved. Let's see my test monstrosity in all its glory.
Oh my god.
Holy crap.
Pull yourself together.
Oh, that was nasty.
Tacky.
What you just saw was practice. The next face, Yoda Eve. When you see it, you'll understand why the Vatican has archives. Now, of course, my test creations are always going to be horrific. Stretching a beautiful face into a half-toilet-jawed monstrosity, that's easy. What's hard is trying to actually replicate something. That's where the real pain begins. Before we move on, what name would you give this unholy abomination? Drop a name in the comments. Mouth breather, fish face, or something worse. The most cursed name gets featured in the next video. After that brain hell, I decided it was time for a short break after 15 hours. Shut my eyes for just a second. I shouldn't have. That second turned into 3 hours. I woke up with drool on my shoulder and no memory of the past year. 12.5% of my modding time has been burned. Now that I know I can successfully jam a cursed model back into Stellar Blade without the game imploding, we can finally move on to the hair. Eve's gorgeously animated hair must be altered, or purged entirely. You see, Yoda, the 900-year-old gremlin, should not have locks. He should only have regrets. Enter the fresh Yoda fade, so a hunt for the hair model. You remember the 9 face files? Well, there are 18 folders for the hair, each with 5 to 23 files. And the guide does not mention hair at all. Half an hour of sifting later, I found it. And immediately remembered, I don't know how to delete anything in Blender. And with the clock ticking, I'm not risking it on some confusing tutorial. I just grabbed all the hair, bangs and strands, crushed it into a ball, and shoved the whole clump into her skull. In theory, hidden hair. In practice, perfection. Almost. As you can see, the ponytail is still there, so I fold the ponytail into itself. A hair Ouroboros, until it's nothing but a nugget. I'm looking at it, and I'm actually afraid to see what happens when I load it up. My graphics card might explode, and the result? The ponytail is still there. but now it resembles the Valve logo. Damn, this ponytail is like a... Never mind. Then, I notice Eve looks blurry, which means my RTX 4090 is not working hard enough. So I pop into the settings, and that's when I see it. Are you fucking kidding me? Remember how I mentioned I can't read? Yeah, apparently it tells you in the loading screens that you can just turn it off. To make this extra cursed, I will keep the same skin color, texture, and makeup, because nothing shatters immersion quite like a jaundiced Yoda. Also, because I have the texturing experience of a concussed squirrel. UV maps, normals, all the devil's teachings. Now technically, for the non-virgins, there is a canon species nearly identical to Yoda, except they look like someone deep-fried a Vienna sausage and gave it STDs. For simplicity, we'll call them Pink Yodas. At this point, everything seemed good. I had 3 hours left to model Yoda. But then something I did earlier as a joke came back to destroy me. Remember when I ate that brick of uncooked ramen with ketchup? Yeah, that ended up sending me to the toilet for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I only have 20 minutes left. My hands are shaking, and my brain, sponge cake. But faces are my thing. I'm a shallow bastard, and this was my moment. Alright, if you stuck around this long, you wanted this. 23 hours and 56 minutes in, now I present to you, Yoda Eve.
Oh, my God.
No!
Hold on, I think I know how to make this just a little bit worse. Yes. Now there's only one thing left to do.
What are we doing?
I just want your opinion of the main character.
Oh, okay.
It's like, what is...
What is that? How do you...
What? Oh, okay.
Wait, her head protrudes so much and it makes her stomach protrude even more.
Holy crap. Sure, the skin's not green and the ponytail, that was some bullshit. But the face is everything I hoped. I did it. I proved to myself I haven't lost it. I can still make monsters. And now that I'm out of face modding retirement, what game should I tackle next? Let me know in the comments. You know, it's only been like a day, and I can already tell I'm never touching this game again. I'm just gonna... yeah. Wait, the complete edition has 2B? This is the part where I admit, the whole video was just an excuse for me to buy the complete edition. I can finally play the game the way it was meant to be played. And so, the curse continues. Speaking of curses, if you thought Yoda Eve was bad, I did the exact opposite in my Hogwarts Legacy video. I tried making a good face and somehow ended up on the front page of nexusmods, proving that the only thing more horrible than my mods was the character creator in Hogwarts Legacy. Click over to see how my whole modding journey started. Like always, thanks for watching.